like making some serious money. So at the end of
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode here with the Young Startup. Today we have Paul. Is it Hilse?
Yeah, Paul
Hilse.
Hilse.
Cool. We got Paul Hilse. Met Paul through a program that we're currently doing. Super cool dude. He's young. You're 19 years old, correct?
Yep, 19.
Sweet, man. I love it. Paul, pleasure to have you. Just so I can give you a little bit of an intro. Paul, again, an absolute hustler. He's in the coaching space. He actually is in the space of YouTube automation. So he finds ways to monetize channels on YouTube and now teaches other people to do exactly the same. Absolutely crushing the game right now, and had to have him on because, again, being 19 years old and making the money that he's making, but also he's got big visions and big plans for his business, his network, so on and so forth. So an inspiration to all and a lot of people that are going to be listening to this. So without further ado, Paul, if you want to give yourself a little bit of an intro, who you are, what you do, and anything else that's worth knowing just to get started.
Yeah, well, awesome. Well, first off, thank you for inviting me to this podcast. I'm honored to be here, and you've already gave me a pretty good thorough run through of pretty much what I do. I'm 19 years old. We're 19 years young. I'm doing YouTube automation, and I'm in the coaching space, and that's pretty much what I do.
Cool. Yeah, my bad. Sweet, man. Well, the first question I always like to ask, of course, is, well, first off, why don't you explain a little bit more about YouTube automation? And also love to hear of how you got started in YouTube as a whole, because you've been doing it for a couple of years now, which means you were probably like 16 or 17 when you started, which is crazy. But how did you stumble across the opportunity? And if you had to dumb it down for people, what would that sound like as an explanation?
Yeah, so like just to give you a little bit of context of how I actually got into YouTube automation and like the business world in general. Before I even got into YouTube automation, I was doing what everyone was doing. Shopify dropshipping. Okay. I was trying to, become a millionaire overnight just by selling a few products from China here and there. And guess what? I did $500,000 in revenue. It was great, but I was just so focused on my top line and not focused on the actual profit, right? With, Shopify dropshipping, my profit margins were literally 5%, if even that. And my ad accounts were being banned all day, every day. And my customers hated my guts. Like I would check my email address and I would just see like capital letters with exclamation points all around. I was like, dude, this is not a sustainable business model. And I finally decided to transition away from it. And I was researching about a lot of different, business models. One being Amazon FBA, affiliate marketing, network marketing, real estate, all these different things. And I stumbled upon YouTube automation. And at the time, I was making some of the content myself on YouTube as like a little gig. I didn't really see it as a business because, making money on YouTube and actually being a content creator was just so far out of reach. It's like these big creators with amazing personalities being in front of camera. And I wasn't that type of guy, right? I was pretty shy. I can't really speak in front of a camera. And I was like, man, this dream is not for me. But when I heard of YouTube automation, where you don't have to stand in front of a camera, you don't have to record videos, you don't have to edit videos, and you get all the upside of YouTube, I'm like, that's a no-brainer, man. And so I started getting to the world of YouTube automation, started doing all the research about gurus here and there. And at the time I was working 9 to 5. And so I literally took all the money that I had and I bought all the YouTube automation courses out there. Every single one that you could think of, you name it, I have it. Because at the end of the day, I know like, no matter how much I try or how much knowledge that I have, it doesn't compete with all the experts in the field already. And so if I can, invest into all these different courses, even though some are really shitty, there's still some golden nuggets in there. And if I can integrate all of those into my brain and essentially implement that with my own personal experience, man, do I have a system and a beast. And that's exactly what happened, right? Initially, in the beginning, it was quite difficult because I was doing everything myself. Script writing, editing, not the voiceover, but I hired someone to do that in the beginning because my voice is absolute trash. But I was literally in high school. during that time, I was in the process of like, testing for college, trying to get into my dream schools, SATs, and that's what we have in the US. And, it was a very, very busy time. Meanwhile, I was working on this business from literally 5 to 9 after school. And at the time, I didn't really like, think that business was gonna be a full-time thing for me, but I still focused on it because I just loved it. I love the process of building something of substance from nothing.
Yeah.
And so the more I delved into it, I realized, wait a minute, I can make money here. And so I started making like passive income every single day, even though it was $5, $10, $20 here and there. I was like, wait a minute, I'm onto something. That's lunch money. And so
Literally as a high school student.
exactly, I was out of this world. I was so excited, and I realized, wait a minute, I'm terrible at script writing. I'm terrible at editing. What if I outsource it to other people who can do everything for me? So that's exactly what I did. I researched different platforms, Fiverr, Upwork, onlinejobs.ph, found these people from countries abroad like Philippines, Pakistan, India, who do some really, really amazing work for a really cheap price. And I started having them do the content for me. And so what I realized was I saved so much of my time, yet I was able to create better content. And that's when my business really took off. That's when my business really took off, when I started automating the whole entire process, right? YouTube automation.
I love it.
One channel, and I use all the profits to essentially funnel to my second channel and third channel and fourth channel and so on and so forth. And now we just have multiple six-figure business year on. It's growing like exponentially month after month.
Yeah, you'll be doing 7 figures pretty quick here, which is phenomenal. Considering I know we'll dive into YouTube automation a little bit more down the road, but for everyone to know, like YouTube automation, your margins are like 90%, and if you outsource to a team, you are literally doing little to no work in order to get this running. I love your mindset, man. Like you're such a happy camper. You're just so like giggly and smiley, which is it's infectious to say the least. But two, I love your mindset. A couple of things that really stood out to me was you invested into as many courses as you could, and you understood that you may not see value in the entire thing, but if you can choose 1 or 2 things that you can pull out from the course, that gets you the value that you paid for that course. We're the same way. And we're also big fans of hiring mentors and courses similar to you so that we can fast track growth. Exactly how you said it. Learn from the experts that have already done all of these errors, learn their process, and then essentially make it better. Take every single little little golden nugget from each one and put it together. We took a very, very similar approach when it came to us selling on Amazon and then now coaching in the Amazon space. The other thing that I really liked that you had said was you started to realize that you're making $5, $10, $20 a day. A lot of people wouldn't be motivated in that, but you saw past those small figures and you looked at the long-term vision in that. There's this book called The Slight Edge, and it's all about getting 1% better every single day. And if you can get 1% better every single day, if you can grow your profit by $1 every single day over time through compound interest, through the compound effect of anything, realistically, you will eventually get there. Business, and I also liked how you said that you're trying to get rich real quick, just like everyone else was through dropshipping, but you quickly realized that it wasn't a viable option. But you saw that this could be a potential option for you down the road. And now look at you. You're absolutely crushing it, man. You're super inspiring. So I appreciate you sharing your story. I'd love to dive in a little bit more of, let's say the cost of a video, for example, just to put things into perspective. If you were to outsource every single component, what would be all in, like an initial video, or if you were to hire, let's do the cost of an initial video for one. And then what is on average, like how much video should you be producing a week if you would want like a self-fulfilling business?
Yeah, great question. So just determine the audience that you guys have out there. You guys probably have a younger audience who might not actually have as much money, but have a lot more time. And so if you have more time than money, I always suggest you get familiar with the business, do the script writing, do the voiceover, do the editing, so you understand the ins and outs yourself before you even go and hire. Because if you don't understand your business and you try to hire, it's going to fall apart, right? And so that's what I do. Was I understand everything from start to finish. And that's why the hiring process was so easy for me, because whenever my script writer or voiceover artist or editor is not doing something correct, I can go in and make adjustments and craft a perfect video from there on forward. Now, with that being said, if you have no time and you have more money, you can go ahead and start hiring right off the bat. And it's not like it's all that expensive. Hiring a team from abroad for me is $25. Industry rate standard for all my competitors is 70 to 100. Right. So I'm doing something very, very different to get my price points to $25 per video. And of course, there's a lot of, places where we can hire psychological like leverages that we can do to get those price points. But $25 a video, if you post 2 videos a week, you're looking at $200 a month. Right, $20 a month, and then you're looking to get monetized in the first 2 to 3 months, so around $400 to $600 in upfront costs before you get monetized. That is not much to actually start a business.
No, it's not.
That is not.
Most brick and mortar businesses take hundreds of thousands of dollars to actually get started. So $400, $600 in initial cost is, most people have that.
Yeah, what I love about it as well is like, learning a little bit more about YouTube automation, of course, is, once that video is live, it's an asset on YouTube now. It can get views 3 years down the road if it really wanted to, right? So like once you put it on, you can always be making money on it. I'd like to talk about the mindset in regards to that, because I know some people might not see the results from a video, but I've also seen, like, I watch videos where videos just take off like 3 months down the road, for example. Does that happen often, or are you specifically trying to find videos that take off right away?
Oh yeah, great question. So in terms of virality on YouTube, that's the one thing that everyone wants to get to, right? Because yeah, you can create videos every single day, but that doesn't mean anything if no one is watching it. And so the question comes, how can we cater to the algorithm? That way our videos goes viral. And I don't want to go into technical things because I don't want to bore you guys, but there's a very mathematical process that's involved with actually going viral on YouTube. A lot of people think it's a game of luck. No, it's not. I've done this time and time again without fail, because I understand the back end of YouTube and how it actually works. And in terms of virality, literally your videos can go viral anytime. If you have the foundation set up correctly, your videos can go viral in the first few days, or it can go viral in literally like 1 year down the line. You never know what can happen. Like the algorithm sometimes is just that random. But if you hit certain key metrics on YouTube, which is click-through rate and viewer retention, you hit certain metrics, then your videos down the line will definitely get picked up.
Damn, I love it. I love that a lot. You talked about a few platforms. I'm familiar with all of them: Fiverr, online jobs, and Upwork, of course. Is there one that works best? Do you have these people on like a full-time basis, for example, because you're always pumping through videos? And let's say somebody wants to get started, is there opportunity to hire them on like a contract basis or like a 1 to 2 video a week basis or something like that?
Oh yeah. So I don't have any of these guys on payroll. I only have them as contractors because it just makes it that much easier.
Yep.
And I mostly use Upwork, but any platform that connects freelancers to employees, it works. Like the websites that we mentioned, but Upwork is just a platform that is so simple where you can essentially hire, contact, and also pay freelancers. So it's an all-in-one platform.
Yeah,
Totally.
No, yeah, we've used Upwork quite a few times. I used to do a lot of Kindle publishing, just trying to figure out which models were best, and we use Upwork to do exactly that for the copywriting aspect of things, graphics, and you're able to hire people on a project basis. You upload funds into escrow, pay them out
Right.
Based off of milestones. So yeah, I see it as a very strategic move for sure. I'm curious, man, like, you kind of differentiated YouTube content creators versus automation as two different things. One being content creators, you need to be good to be in front of a camera, right? And you can kind of monetize that way. When it comes to YouTube automation, like, how do you come up with ideas? As we're a content creator, let's say a vlogger, for example, they're just doing day in the lives, trying to show what they're doing on a daily basis, or if they're specifically within a niche, they're making videos relevant to that niche. What kind of things do you follow in terms of making videos in the first place? Like, how do you come up with ideas essentially?
Yeah, such a great question. Oh my goodness, because that's one of the most difficult parts of this business.
Yeah.
It's just the only thing that we have to do is come up with video ideas and upload as business owners, right? And so there comes to a point where humans can only be so creative. And so most people think you run out of video ideas at a certain time. With YouTube automation, I'm telling you, you can never run out of video ideas. And why is that? It's because the process at which I find video ideas is so simple and so intuitive. So instead of coming up with my own ideas and reinventing the wheel, I just take inspiration from what's working. So we're not copying video ideas, but we're essentially taking inspiration and making those video ideas better and adding on top of it. Because there's already a market fit for the idea. There's already people who like that video and clicked on it. And so if there's already a market fit for that, why not do something similar, something better, and put it out in the market and see how it reacts to it?
Yeah.
Nice.
I love that. I think Eric and I are laughing for the same reason, because we're like looking at each other like, this is exactly what we do on Amazon, man. It's literally exactly the same.
People
We
complicate it.
are selling everyday products where people are already crushing it on Amazon. We're figuring out a way to make it better. And we're essentially sourcing it and making it better, selling it on Amazon. We already know that it's doing good using softwares, pulling data and making data-driven decisions. So we're doing exactly the same thing, just with physical products as opposed to monetizable videos. My question to you now is, how do you make it better, and how do you know if it's going to be better? Like, what's our process in terms of doing that? Put this into perspective.
Yeah.
Like with us, we look at negative reviews. We look at customer concerns, because that way we're solving customer problems. And again, we're using data in order to drive what that decision is, making a safe assumption that if we do come to market with this option, it will be better and we'll be able to stand out, because it is a search engine, just like YouTube is. Whenever you search up a specific term, there are going to be a ton of different results on the search engine results page. It's just a matter of getting that first click. So what's your process in terms of doing that?
Yeah, great question. And so your question is, why do my videos and why do my channel stand out compared to the rest, right?
Yeah. Or even like, when
Got
you're in terms of like, even more of at a specific video level, like let's say I found X video, it's crushing it through a competitor or a different channel. How do you know how to make it better? Like, is there a process in terms of doing that?
Yeah, great question. So in terms of YouTube automation specifically, the other channels that I take inspiration from, I know my channels are my videos are gonna be so much better because of two things. One thing, I have the foundation of my channel set up correctly. So in terms of SEO, metadata, keywords, all the backend stuff that you've been talking about Amazon, we have that on YouTube as well. Most people on YouTube don't have that set up correctly, and they can still go viral. You can only imagine, if you have that set up correctly, how much more viral you can actually become. And so that's literally the toast on that's literally the butter on my toast. Okay, just the metadata backend process that has helped my channels go viral time and time again. Next thing is, I've just hired such amazing people to create content for me. Okay, my hiring process is so amazing to the point where I don't even have to worry about my competition, because I know they're all doo-doo. Everyone is coming to this business to make money overnight. Everyone is creating meditation videos, motivational videos. I'm not doing that. I'm creating very high production cinematic videos that give people value and entertainment. And if I can deliver on these two fronts, I don't even care about competition. Come, because my videos are just that much better.
I fucking love it, man. I love talking to you. You're so energetic, man. I love that. You're a beast in the industry. You're a mogul at the end of the day, and you're confident in terms of doing that. And again, it's infectious to see. I love to hear those things.
He's so damn good at what you do that competition doesn't matter. It's really what it comes down to.
Exactly.
That's like, again, it's such a core principle in life at the end of the day, or in building a business. If you're scared of competition, then you're doing things the wrong way, right? Don't be scared of competition. It's like, always find a way to be unique, always find a way to be different, and just be the best damn person you can be out there. There's no better principle than that at the end of the day. So I love that. And that's going to take you a really long way. I mean, I got to ask one question here though, like entrepreneurship as a whole, like what made you who you are today? Like, you're 19, why entrepreneurship? Just like what got you the blood that you got right now?
Okay. Yeah, we're just going to share this because so just to give you guys a little context for those people who are watching, me and the Zab twins are in this program for Armin, and he's essentially our coach to help us build our coaching business. And I think in the coming weeks, we're gonna do a podcast as well, or like a live interview about like how I got to where I am and what my story is. But I might as well just say it here. But the title of that live session is gonna be sleeping from a couch to becoming a six-figure entrepreneur. Okay, and so that can give you a little preface of what's going on here. But essentially, might get a little emotional, but let's just dive deep into it. Let's just dive deep into it. Okay, so 2 years ago, my dad was, he came to America with literally nothing. All he came with was a passion and a drive to succeed so that he can provide for the next generation. He literally came with a backpack and a few clothes, and that's it. Not a single dollar to his name, did not know a single word of English. And he came to this land with just one thing. He wanted to have a brighter future for me and my brother. And so he worked his ass off. He worked in a restaurant for a long time, found my mom, and they started a business together, and they made a pretty, we weren't rich, we weren't poor, but we were in the middle class in America, and we were able to build a life here. And my dad got into real estate, and he found a lot of success there. And he became essentially a multi-millionaire in real estate from all the appreciation in New York City. So he invested in around 2004, 2005, and that was some of the peak times to invest, and our properties literally skyrocketed. And so my whole entire life at from 15 to 16, I was like, I'm set for the rest of my life. Like, I have these properties, I have rental income coming in, I'm good to go, right? Yes, I worked really hard in school, but in the back of my head, I always had this preconceived notion of, okay, if anything fails, I always have these properties. When my parents pass away, I'm still gonna be a multi-millionaire. That was my thought process. And then 2 years ago, my dad passed away because of cancer. And, it was a really tough time because my dad was literally the breadwinner of the house. He literally took care of everything, finances, food. Literally, he was the one that drove us around. And so to have that provider all of a sudden disappear, it was really detrimental. And so all of a sudden, my mom was left with so many properties, real estate, millions of dollars of properties, and she had no idea, no financial literacy of how to handle it. And so what happened was 6 months ago, literally 6 months ago, right? Do the math, like that's 180 days ago.
Yeah.
She got scammed out of all the real estate properties, every single one of them. We got scammed out of $3 million in real estate.
Holy crap.
What?
We got scammed out of $3 million in real estate. And at that moment, I was homeless.
Holy shit.
Holy shit, man. That is a story. Sorry to hear about your dad as well, man. And this just as a whole.
Yeah, man. No, like no need to apologize. Like, I don't like being the victim. Okay. And so at that situation, I felt the pain. I resonated with it, and I let it seep in. But I wasn't gonna let it control me and the rest of my life. I had this preconceived notion of, okay, this is how my life is gonna be in the next 10, 20 years. And then having that all vanish, I felt like I had nothing. I literally did not have a place to sleep. And I can't put a word to it, the type of pain I was feeling. It was indescribable. Not only did I lose literally my whole entire house, the place that I lived in for my whole entire life, but my future as well, right? I was planning how I was going to invest this real estate to, grow and to, create generational wealth, and to have that deplete down to $0. Actually, it's not $0. It's actually, my mom is still in a crazy amount of debt. She's in $500,000 in debt. Okay. And this was all happening when I was still in high school. So this was halfway through my senior year of high school. And at that time, I got into my dream schools. So I got into my top business schools, which was UPenn Wharton and also NYU Stern. And literally the 4 years of high school, I studied so hard to get into these two different schools. And it was a pivotal point in my life. It was, what do I do? Do I not go to college, just work, and then try to pay my mom's debt off? Or do I go to college, get myself in more debt, and try to pay it off that way? And so at that time, like, I made the decision to myself. I said, even if I were to go to UPenn, the best business school in the country, and to get a 9-to-5 job that's making 6 figures, it would take me a shitload of time to actually pay off that debt. Meanwhile, my own debt as well, that's compounding year over year. And so I'm like, okay, I don't want the rest of my life to be like this. Like, I am not gonna allow this one situation that was completely out of my control to consume me. And so what I told myself was, I'm gonna make something happen. I don't know what it is. I remember praying to God. I was like, God, I don't know where you're taking me, but what is happening to me right now is not a setback. It's a setup for something greater.
Bro.
And so I made a vision board. I remember writing about what I wanted to do, how much money I wanted to make. At that time, my YouTube was going, I wouldn't say it was going like as well as it is right now, but it was still bringing in money. And so I was like, okay, how can I use what I have right now to make more? And so I started thinking of, okay, this month I'm going to be making this much. This month I'm going to be making this much. This month I'm going to be making this much. And next month I'm making that much. The first month was 10K in consulting. Second month was 20. Third month was 50. Fourth month was 100. I'm telling you, at that time, I had no idea how I was going to hit these things. I remember looking at the board and I laughed to myself. I was like, Paul, like there's no way. There's no way. And throughout this journey, like every single month, I wasn't paying attention to the money. I wasn't paying attention to how much money was coming in from YouTube or my consulting. But month after month, 4 months since what happened since then, we've been able to hit every single goal. 10,000, 20,000, 55,000, 105,000. We crushed every single month. And it wasn't because I'm special or anything. It's not because I'm smart. It's not because, I'm different than anybody else. I'm literally a 19-year-old kid that has no experience in the world. It's because I have a very, very strong why. I have such a strong why. And I don't know what that is for you guys listening right here, right now, but I don't want to ever feel that pain ever again. I don't want to feel the insecurity, that instability in my life. And I want to hold a grasp of my life and just that pen that's writing my story. I want to take full control of that. And I want to start writing my own story.
Damn, bro.
Man,
I'm emotional after that, man. Like you're an inspiration, bro.
You're
like,
wise.
I knew you were a hustler. I knew you're doing big things. I knew you had vision and a plan and you wanted to, change the world and everything like that. But I didn't know this story. And that's just like, that impacts me. That inspires me, bro. Like, holy crap.
I thought we were wise at 19, but holy crap, are you ever wise for being 19? And I loved everything you said, to be honest. I had goosebumps throughout the entire thing. I still have goosebumps right now. And it's super, super inspirational for you to not be the victim. I love how you said that, to not be the victim and to take control of your life. And, at the end of the day, if there's a will, there's a way, and you planned it. You executed on it and you did whatever it took. And now, before this podcast, I asked you, why are you doing coaching when you're crushing it on YouTube? And now I understand why. There's so much more. And it's because there's a huge why that's impacting you. And I think that's so important to have something that you can move towards. Like our goal is to retire our parents early, and that should be next year. We can confidently say that it should be next year, which we thought transparently was going to be in like 5-10 years from now, which is crazy to think. But when you're an entrepreneur, you are in control of your life, and you can do so much more than you can if when working a 9-to-5 or going to school. And that's what this podcast is about. Transparently, we're trying to reshape education. I think you're on the same route with this. You're trying to reshape the fact that you don't need to go to school, go crazy amounts in debt in order to get an education, just to work a 9 to 5 for you to slowly pick out that debt over a 10-year period, and then maybe be able to support an additional generation. It's very unlikely, considering you're paying a crap load of taxes if you're making good money, working any kind of corporate role or a 9 to 5 job at the end of the day. So I think you took the right path, and you being 19 and being able to produce this really puts into perspective that you don't need to go to school. You don't need to work a 9 to 5. There's so much things that you can do out there that can just pull in a crap load of money and to achieve the reason you're doing everything at the end of the day. So super inspired, man. And
Yeah, exactly. And
I was just going to say, sorry, Armin, for taking the story before you.
Oh, good. But yeah, that's what it's all about. Like having a really, really strong why. And if you have a strong why, like other people are naturally going to see it. Like a lot of people in my industry, they're all about the money. They're all about this and that. Oh my goodness, like just trying to rip people off. And when people talk to me, they see the authenticity. They see the reason why I'm doing this without even me telling them. They don't know my background, but the way that I interact with them, the way that I conduct things, they realize, wait a minute, this guy is so much more than money. He has a purpose of greater impact, reshaping education and helping people achieve financial freedom. That's at the forefront of my mission. I don't want people to feel the same pain that I felt. I don't want people to feel insecure in their lives because of finances. I want them to be financially free so that they can live the life that they're destined to live.
Totally, man. Absolutely. I'm still in awe. Thanks for sharing. I think that's a message to hear for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be on like Forbes 30 under 30 and you're going to share the message. And
that's the goal.
That's the goal. Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Let's
man.
make it happen. Yeah, that's the goal.
I love it, man. No, this has been awesome. One thing I always like to do obviously is pump your tires, and, you're in consulting, you do great at what you do, obviously. Now for people who are interested in YouTube automation, I'd love for you, Paul, to maybe pull up some of your results that you've gotten, so people can see and understand the opportunity with it, because I think it's going to be very foreign to a lot of people. It's definitely getting more and more known, but I think this is just a good opportunity for you to show what people can actually make from it, if you're open to doing that.
Yeah, of course. So right now, just to give you guys a little bit of context, I have several different channels, and I'll just go ahead and show you guys one of my channels that's been recently really blowing up. So let me just go ahead and share my screen so you guys can, take a look at what's going on here. Okay, cool. So don't have to worry about the different metrics. This is the back end of YouTube. It's just different analytics that we're looking at. And all I want you to see is the subscribers here, around 760,000. And the last 28 days, we made around $200,000. Yep.
So insane.
Yeah,
Just
and
insane.
this is last 28 days. And like this is literally passive income coming in and day out, which is incredible because we're only spending $25 on video creation, and it's churning out $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 per day. And it's insane to think that a lot of people have the mental roadblock. I myself had this as well, that $10,000 a month is just absolutely nuts, right? And then when you overcome that roadblock and you realize, wait a minute, you can have $10,000 days or $13,000 days. It really changes your perspective on what is possible, right? If you overcome that mental roadblock yourself, your business would just become exponential. Remember what I told you guys about that vision board that I had?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I told myself, you're going to make this much in a few months. I overcame that roadblock, and look what happened with my business. It absolutely skyrocketed.
Yeah. And this one only started in July. Now, the good thing obviously about this is that once you have a system and know the system, you can just go and create as many channels at basically zero risk.
Yeah. I think it's,
Exactly.
I think what you were saying, I'd love to chat and kind of mastermind on this right now, but $10,000 a month and then $10,000 day. I think it's all about creating new belief systems for yourself, right? And I think the first thing that you need to do is to dream big in order to do that. But we're the same way, man. Like in our Amazon business, actually put into perspective, when we were working corporate, making $10,000 a month, for example, getting taxed up the ass, of course, but making $10,000 a month, at first we entered it and we're like 70K salary. We're like, holy crap, that's a lot of freaking money. You know what I mean? 70K salary, then started making commissions, making over 100 grand at 19, 20 years old. And then like, it just created new belief systems for ourselves. But when we tapped into the entrepreneurship world, starting to make 300, 250, close to $300,000 every single month, you're like, wow, that's a new floor to yourself. You're creating new ceilings every single month. And if you just have that mindset and you can look past those mental barriers and create new belief systems for yourself, literally the world of entrepreneurship, and this is why we want to reshape education, reshape the traditional route to take business as your main threshold of income, is because it is truly uncapped. There's so many different ways to make money. And once you get so damn good at something, there's so many additional ways that you can capitalize that to monetize it. So there's just so much more that you can do. And all I can say in confidence is, if you are a big dreamer and if you want to achieve those dreams, and one thing I want to mention is there's no overnight successes. You're going to fail. You're going to spend money. Things will eventually work over time. You just need to be resilient. You need to be consistent with it. But if you're a big dreamer and you want to achieve those dreams sooner than later, don't go and work a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life. That's all. That's all. And like,
yeah,
go ahead.
Well, the thing is, like, I actually suggest you go to a 9 to 5 and experience what it's like to be there.
Yeah.
Like, one of the main reasons why, one of my other whys is I don't want to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. I was working at a real estate law firm, and guess what I was doing the whole entire time?
Pushing paper.
Shredding paper. Hey, Paul, can you help me go grab coffee? Yeah. I'll go down the street. That's what I was doing. And I realized every single time I walk back, I'm in New York City, a lot of people coming out at 5 p.m. I just looked at the faces of everyone around me. Gloomy. I was like, what is going on here? Why is everyone so depressed? And I realized I don't want to walk these streets for the rest of my life. Yep. I don't want to be shredding paper. Like, this is not what I'm destined here for. God put me on this earth for a much greater purpose, not to just shred paper.
100%. No, yeah, I agree. There's like, the 9 to 5 experience for us, all said and done, we were able to accumulate capital to start our businesses, and then put into perspective that even though you make high salary, good commission, and not being happy still, it really put into perspective that this wasn't the route that we were destined for at the end of the day. So by all means, working a 9 to 5, it's the only way to acquire capital, by all means. But at the end of the day, as long as you have that long-term vision, that if you do want to make good money, if you want to make a larger impact, even more so, the only way that you're going to be able to do that realistically is through creating your own business and having passive income sources that come from that. So
yeah, exactly. And a lot of people who are in the 9 to 5 are just really comfortable, right? They're making 6 figures, commission, income, whatever. They're very, very comfortable. And I'm telling you, that feeling that you have right now is not gonna feel long. Okay, it's not gonna sustain long, because if you stay complacent in your 9 to 5 and you don't take that risk to start a business, you're gonna start regretting it, right? A lot of people say starting a business is really risky.
Yeah.
One of the biggest risks you can take is not starting a business and actually building something of substance.
Yeah, 100%,
right?
man. Again, holy crap, you're wise beyond your years, man. 19 years old. The only thing that would make you like 19 is your face. To be honest, like even myself, like we're 23 and we still get called young. I take it as a compliment, to be honest. Just looking back, getting called young and seeing how much you accomplished, you should be proud of yourself, is what I'm trying to get at the end of the day, man. Totally. We usually cap things off.
Thank you.
Yeah, we usually cap things off to like, hey, give some advice to younger entrepreneurs. But to be honest, I think everything that you said was advice to young entrepreneurs. So I don't want to steal any more of your time, but I do want to pump your tires in terms of how people can reach you. How can they find you? How can they follow the journey? How can they understand a little bit about YouTube automation? Pimp yourself out, give your social channels, how they can get in contact with you and things along those lines.
Yeah, for sure. So if any of you who are listening right now have resonated with my story, or, kind of like the business model of YouTube automation, find me at Paul Hilse on Instagram and also on Facebook as well. I'll be more than happy to chat with you, see what's going on, and to hear out your story and to connect on that level. And we'll definitely see where that takes us. All right, I'll see you there.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah,
good.
man.
And if anyone wants to, if you guys want to reach out to us and get us to intro you to Paul, also very open to doing that. I'm sure us and Paul are going to have some form of collaboration in the future. I think we just have very like minds. We're young, we're crushing it. So stay tuned for that. And I know that you guys are probably going to want to watch the interview that you have with Armin Shaffi as well. So we'll go ahead, and once that's populated, we'll make sure that we include that into the bio of this podcast as well. But for now, guys, thanks for watching and listening to another podcast on The Young Startup. Take care.